Hey now, cats, we're back again this week on the Balls from Ellwood show.
Well, we have a song now?
We do.
Oh, boy.
Yabba dabba do. But anyway, how the hell are you in this corona apocalypse? How many weeks is this going on?
42.
Are you sick of it yet?
No, surprisingly, no. Believe that?
I'm holding up pretty good myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been so damn busy, I don't even know what to do. So,
right. This man's been hustling and grinding for your viewing pleasure, let me tell you.
I'm looking at some downtime here before I got to go back and rip myself all up going back to work. So, I want to watch some shitty movies and eat some shitty food and get fatter and uglier. It's going to be great. I can't wait.
Jeez Louise.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
The plans.
So, anywho, speaking of, I wanted to tell. I actually had one of my bucket list moments crossed off this week, cats. I have to tell you about. Last week, you see me do a little interview with the man, the myth, the legend, a dude that's always been very important to me, Mr. Lloyd Kaufman. You know him as the creator of the Toxic Avenger. You know him as the creator and the head of Troma. He was so impressed by my little interview that he actually asked me to cut a commercial for Troma, their new service, Troma Now. So I was so incredibly flattered. I think he's just he's my man crush, Lloyd. I have to. he's my real dad.
Your man crush, your real dad.
He's my real dad. So I was so super fun. Whenever one of your heroes from childhood till now asked you, "Hey, Balls, can you cut a commercial?" Of course you're going to be like, "Well, fuck yeah, Mr. Kaufman. Of course I could get." So I did, cats. Wanted to share it with you in case you haven't seen it. Check it out. Hey now, cats, I'm Balls from Ellwood, and you might know me from my decade of calls to the Howard Stern Show, or even being the host of the Balls from Ellwood show, but most importantly, I would like to be known for my lifelong love of Troma. People always ask me, hey, Balls, what is it you like about Troma so much? And I'm like, well, that's easy. It all started many moons ago when I discovered a man that changed my life forever. In a world where I was a weird little fat kid that nobody wanted to take the time to get to know nor understand, this man introduced me to a place that not only showed me that there's people just like me in this world, but as long as this man was around, we all had a home in Tromaville. All the people that didn't fit in the normal trappings of the world, the misfits, the freaks, the nerds, we all had a place to congregate. And this man's been one of my biggest inspirations in so many ways to this very day. That man, you may ask, is the creator of Troma, creator of Toxic Avenger, and a lot of people don't know. My real dad, Lloyd Kaufman. Lloyd showed me that his movies are for underdogs like myself the world over. Troma films all have social and political content that's aimed at young people, and best of all, they're completely fucking uncensored. Lloyd Kaufman is one of the few auteur filmmakers in the United States. So if you'd like to see why I love Troma so much, cats, it's never been easier. You have to check out their all-new streaming service, Troma Now, where you have all things Troma right at your fingertips. Enjoy their library of classic films such as The Toxic Avenger, Class of Nukem High, Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead, Romeo and Juliet, and if that's not enough, you have a vast array of current Troma titles such as Mutant Blast, Banana Motherfucker, and Return to Nukem High, and Return to Nukem High Volume 2. They even have music videos, comics, and when that new Troma film you're looking forward to, such as the upcoming hashtag Shakespeare Shitstorm hits, you can bet your candy ass it'll premiere on Troma Now. So take it from me, Balls from Ellwood. Get Troma Now. Enjoy the films of the future, and that future is now. I'm super proud of it. Tell me what you think.
Pretty cool.
Better yet, do more than that. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell them to subscribe. Tell that spooky dude you see in the corner, hey, hit subscribe. Tell spooky Aunt Martha that smells like condensed soup and onion mix, like she should subscribe.
She totally should.
The point of it is just fucking tell everybody. So
valid.
I'm super excited about that. We got some movie reviews. We got some shit we want to talk about. I'm going to turn it over to Xtina. She's going to hit you up with a review. I'm going to hit you up with some other reviews. They're going to mingle, they're going to marry each other, and they're all just going to dance around playfully. It's going to be great. So, Xtina, what would you like to tell us about?
Well, what I wanted to tell you about was, people are always like, oh, you should watch this. And I'm like, ugh. Someone told me, you should watch The Handmaid's Tale. And of course I was like, ugh. And my first reaction, and this is why you shouldn't, I guess, jump to conclusions or make assumptions, because you don't exactly know what something is about. When I've seen previews for The Handmaid's Tale, I assumed that it was something that took place in the late 1800s or the early 1900s, and I knew very little about it. I figured it was people who, rich women who couldn't have babies or did have babies, and they had handmaids helping them take care of them. That's what I thought it was about. Oh, I couldn't have been further from the truth, let me tell you. If you've never seen the show, I don't want to give too much away, but the gist of it is present day. Absolutely present day. And these men of the world that are in high-powered positions of the government have decided that women have too much power. Women have too much freedom. Women are here for our baby-making purposes, and that is pretty much it. And I guess there's an issue in this particular town with people getting pregnant, people not being able to conceive, and there's like a population problem where they're just having trouble repopulating. So in an extreme situation, they go into these like companies where there's like women in all kind of powers, and they're like, okay, women out, your jobs are done. And then they like get sent home, and next thing you know, like they're being kidnapped and, taken to these places where they're held in these houses, and now they're made to dress in these goofy garbs that look like, something from the 18th century. And they're basically, made to make babies with their, I guess, president or whatever of the communes. It's very dark. It's very disturbing, but it's very gripping, and it's scary because, not that it has anything to do with really what we're going through now, but it is scary to think that the government could truly take over and you could wind up in some crazy situation like this. Like, it's beyond belief, but they depict it very well. The acting is incredible. In fact, if you were a fan of Dexter, one of the main leads is YVONNE STRAHOVSKI, I think is how you say her name, and she played Hannah McKay, the Dexter's, I guess, girlfriend, and she is, of course, pretty equally as evil in this. Joseph Fiennes, who was also in American Horror Story. Just an all-star cast. It's unreal. Check it out. If you had any misconceptions of anything, just give something a chance, I guess. Give it a couple of episodes, because you might be just blown away. So that's my take on that. Alrighty, so that's that. I've taken over enough of the show here, Balls. What about you? What did you see lately?
It's funny you ask. I actually had the privilege of seeing probably one of the best films I've seen of this year so far. Believe it or not. And it was something I was looking forward to for a long, long time. I honestly didn't think it was going to be that special. From the trailer, they don't give you much. All the stuff I read, it seems... I just wanted to see, because I'm a fan of this director. He did a film called Goodnight, Mommy, and that was pretty horrifying. So I am a dude that if I like a director's films, I kind of want to follow what he does, and So I was, it was supposed to come out in the theater. I don't know if it did with the whole Corona apocalypse, but I'd heard plenty of good reviews about it, plenty of good buzz, which also scares me, because normally I get my hopes up too high, and then I see it and I'm like, meh. This actually did not disappoint me. I am a fan of atmosphere. I'm a fan of... I'm not a person that's turned off by like a slow build. And this movie is the epitome of that. It kind of just gives you a little bit at a time, to the point where it builds the mood and the atmosphere. It's so slow, but by the time you get there, it ratchets up it's just nerve shredding. Like you sort of think you know where it's going too, but you don't. And I have to say, the acting is top notch. The score is really good. If you it has this sense of dread, just because you're kind of trapped in the middle of nowhere, and you kind of feel like you're with these characters. And like I said, it has probably my favorite scare of the year. Like I mean, I've seen so much of this shit, nothing hardly bothers me.
Yeah.
And the way this is shot, it's so shot like fluidly and like so weirdly. I've never seen something edited and shot this way. That like even if you know it's coming, you still, it happens so quickly and weirdly that like you still just get like punched in the stomach, and it scared the shit out of me. And I loved every second of it because I've been chasing the dragon for this feeling for such a long time. This is one of the few times where I've actually felt like a kid again, being scared out of my wits from a certain thing. And like I hate telling people that because I don't want them to be like watching the movie if they see it and be like, oh, what part's he talking about?
Right.
I want you to actually just absorb
back,
the film,
relax.
enjoy. You trust me, you'll know what I'm talking about when it happens. All around, it's a solid film.
And like, this is The Lodge. I want to make
sure. A little film called The Lodge.
Okay.
And I have to say, it sticks with you too. Like I like movies that are, like you're still thinking about like 2-3 days a week afterwards. I'm still thinking about this movie.
That's wild. And I saw the previews and I wasn't interested. That's why Balls watched by himself, because I'm like, meh, looks like something you've seen 500 times. But apparently it was not that.
Yeah, you know what, I didn't fault you for that, because I sort of was like,
Probably is.
The trailer does kind of look like something I've seen before. Surely wasn't. Nice. It was a really good, they throw a lot of red herrings. You're sort of always kind of guessing what's going on. I have to say, like it's moody and it's like atmospheric, and it's like it reminds me of like the intensity and mood of like old Hammer films. Like I mean, it takes a lot to get there, but once it gets there, you got to buckle up, because I got to say, like the last half hour to me was really suspenseful. So I mean, that's probably, I've seen a lot. Fortunately, I've been seeing a lot of good stuff this year. I count this amongst them. This is definitely in the top 5 of the things I've seen this year. So definitely check out The Lodge. Another thing that I was super pumped about, man, I've always been a Rambo fan since I was a kid. But real quickly, Last Blood came to the theater. It left. I don't understand how people didn't flock to this thing, man, because to me it was one of the better ones they made in a long time. They haven't made a good sequel in a long time. And this gave me everything I wanted to see. Ultra violence. It actually had a touching, emotional story, which I thought was, I mean, there's always been elements of emotion in Rambo films, I know, believe it or not, but that's true. And all around, it's one of my favorites. And they actually brought out an extended cut. It's on Amazon Prime right now, and all I could think of is, I don't know how the fuck this movie could possibly get any more violent. It would be impossible. And it did. And I love every fucking second of it. Like, so if you're a fan, and I gotta say, it pulls off some of the craziest effects I've seen in a long time. I've already seen this movie 10 times, Kat. I'm gonna watch it again. I'm sure I'm gonna watch it again. I love it. So check out Last Blood Extended Cut on Amazon Prime. You're gonna go out and buy the Blu-ray if you like Rambo. I know I'm going to. But anyway, another exciting thing. I don't think you've seen this yet, but I just seen today. We just got done interviewing Felissa Rose from Sleepaway Camp yesterday. That should be coming up here very shortly in the next few weeks. But the cool thing is I found out she was actually in the hotly anticipated upcoming Terrifier 2 with our buddy David Howard Thornton. Today, they actually leaked, or I guess put out on their own, the very first image from Terrifier 2, Cats. I'm going to put it up so you get to see Art in all his bloody glory.
Nice.
So it looks super cool, man. So I'm going to put that image up. Other than that, murder hornets. How about those murder hornets?
Well, I haven't seen any yet, thank the Lord. And from what I hear, they're out west mostly. So sorry for all you folks out west, but keep them there. Keep them there. Kill them. Do what you got to do. Don't let them come here.
Was the coronavirus not enough, man? Like,
no.
I almost...
Release the murder hornets.
Release the murder hornets. The coronavirus isn't scaring those idiots no more. They're not even wearing a mask. Just time to release the hornets.
Yes. Get them out there.
And then if that doesn't work, it's poison hemlock. Am I boring you?
You are.
I have that effect on most
murder
people.
Hornets. They really make me tired. They're trying to kill me right now. I'm not even near them.
Who are these hornets?
Who are these hornets?
They'll make you fall asleep. These hornets are boring.
They're the sleepy hornets.
They are the sleepy hornets. These hornets. Why they picked? And if that ain't enough, It's the poison hemlock.
Oh yeah, the poison
What
hemlock.
about this poison hemlock, Xtina?
I don't know. I heard that might be just a Pennsylvania thing, but apparently there's a new poison hemlock.
There's a new scare this week, cats.
Yep,
So
every
buckle
week.
up. Meanwhile, this shit's been around forever.
Probably, right?
Poison
I heard the
hemlock
murder
was around when I was
hornets
a fucking kid, so I don't
Yeah.
know. It was like, and then I seen some goofy shit. You might, if I could find an image, I'll put it up. I don't know if you've seen this shit either. I seen this goofy shit of the moon, and there's some fucking weird like another little planet like on top of it. Like you could see it. The moon's visible, and then there's some little planet on top. I was watching it before the show here. I'll put the video up if I could find it, but I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Maybe it's Pluto. Remember they took Pluto out of the solar system. Maybe maybe he found his way back in.
I just don't get it, man. It's like coronavirus, fucking murder hornets,
Jesus.
fucking poison hemlock. Now we got a fucking ball sack growing on the moon. Like what's gonna happen tomorrow? Like
I don't know, but stay tuned. It's gonna be fun.
And then you were telling me, talk about this with hey cats, our audience. Like you were telling me the other day something about how if you have coronavirus, you're not allowed in the military. What was that about?
I just read this story today briefly. Like I read the headlines, and so you know how that goes. That could be just clickbait, but it said something to the effect that if you have had coronavirus, and obviously you've recovered, so you're done. You've had it, you're done, you've survived, you're like a remotely normal human being again. You're no longer allowed to enlist in the military. What the actual fuck? That's bullshit.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though, but at some point, a good majority of our population is going to be that way.
Yeah.
So in fact, will we have a military at that point?
I have no idea. And I don't understand the logic behind this. If anybody knows, please let us know.
I don't think there's any logic going on now at all.
Yeah,
that shit
isn't
fucking
there?
went out the window a long, long time ago.
That sounds ridiculous. It's like, if you have arthritis, you can no longer be in the military. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that is a thing. I know they're pretty strict, but you've had coronavirus and now you can't be in the military. I mean, I know that it's like a harder pneumonia. Are they not allowing people that have had pneumonia now? What about the flu? I mean, what? Give me a break.
Very strange.
It is
very strange times.
I don't
Let me ask you a question, Xtina.
Okay.
When you were younger and you were a bad little Xtina.
I was an angel, but anyway.
No, seriously. How are you disciplined?
How was I disciplined?
Yes.
I mean, I guess majority of the time I was sent to my room to just sit and, I guess, reflect on what I've done.
Did you ever have the helping hand?
I never had the helping hand. I mean, I had hamburger helper. Does that count?
That is not the same thing.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Tell me.
Well, I thought it was, I was reflecting on my youth the other day, and I was thinking of the ways that I was disciplined, and I was a bad little fucker here and there, and I deserved every second of it. In fact, I loved every beating I got because it shaped me into the person I am today.
Oh, okay.
I have to say, but at the time, it didn't feel that great. So I had to laugh. I was thinking about my grandparents' basement. And they had this thing, and it was hanging, I'd go in the basement, and they had, like, some stuff hanging up. But I believe it was in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. They had this old clock, and it was like an old time, like, you remember, like, the telephones where you crank, and you have to put the thing up to your ear? It was a clock, but it was like that. And I always thought that was really fun. I'd always want to try to play with it, and nobody'd ever let me have fun with it. And then next to it was a nail with the helping hand. What's the helping hand, you may ask? It was I think it was some sort of wood, and it was about yay thick, and it was in the form of a hand, and it was painted white. I could picture it like it was. And the funniest part about it was you'd beat the shit out of your kids with it, but it had a nice scenic farmhouse on it. It was like this serene, beautiful scene, you know. So I guess as you're whipping the monkey fuck out of your kid, you're looking at it and kind of off at your happy place. You know, like, as I beat the fuck out of this kid, oh, look at this. It looks like Cracker Barrel on the fucking thing. But, so that was bad. I can think of one in particular time where I really got the helping hand. And boy, did it fucking help that day. my mom was on a tube top. It's the middle of summer. It's like 110 degrees.
Oh, God.
And she's like, little Michael. That's or little Balls.
Little Balls.
Oh, shit, I outed myself.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy, it's over now. But anyway, don't tell anybody.
Your real identity has
I
been
can trust
revealed.
you guys, right?
Right.
Don't say anything. But anyway, we had this real old shitty, I think it was a Plymouth Horizon, if I'm not mistaken. So she's like, whatever you do, don't lock the doors because they're not going to open again. So it's the hottest day of the summer. It's 106 degrees. And of course, you tell the kid that, what do you think they're going to do? I have to lock the fucking door now. It's my mission. So I'm like, I lock the door. I get out. I shut it. My mom can't get out now.
Oh no. She's locked inside the car?
She's locked inside the car. She can't get out.
And the air conditioning's on or no?
There's no air conditioning. This is
Lord.
a Plymouth Horizon back in the
80s.
80s.
Yeah. All right.
In fact, the windows, the one window didn't even roll down. There was only one window that rolled down. So.
Oh Lord.
So she's in there and she's like, I was going into the house and I hear her going, Michael, 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 like a banshee. And I was like, oh shit. I didn't realize the severity of what I've done. So I get there, so like my so then I go in the house and I'm like, oh fuck man, I'm fucked, you know, like so I'm hiding with my grandparents. And so long story short, about, you know, a good 45 minutes to an hour later, my mom comes in the house and she was able to unroll the window, open, wriggle her way out like a snail and flop out into the gravel driveway and come in. So I got an introductory crash course to what the helping hand was all about.
Oh,
and the humiliating part is they'd make you get the helping hand, you know.
Oh, nice.
Like, yeah, you know, they fuck with your head that way, too.
Go
They'd
get
be
it.
like, mate, go get the helping hand. I'd be like, no! They'd be like, get the helping hand. I'd be like, no! So after a half hour, get it out, no!
Wow!
Get it out, no! And I'm like, I can't cry no more. I just want to get it over. So then, yeah, I got the introduction of the helping hand that day. So I just wondered if I'm the only one that got
You're
the
the only
pleasure
one.
of the helping hand, or if cats, if you know anybody that had the helping hand growing up, email us at wendychops1976. I'd love to hear your at gmail.com. I'd love to hear your story. We'll tell it on the air. But am I the only one that got a helping hand on my ass? And I tell you what, they looked like fucking breakfast sausage. I couldn't sit good for a week. Guess what? I never did again. Didn't lock the fucking door no more. So.
Good idea.
What a happy story that was, cats. Oh.
Another happy story.
Let's move on to some happier things. I'm sure Nicolas Cage never got the helping hand, but speaking of Nicolas Cage, I found out some incredible news. Everybody was all bent up on Joe Exotic. That was the big thing for 6 seconds. Everyone's pretty much over it now, but this piqued my interest. I believe it was CBS. They have a show coming out. It's a scripted, like a scripted series.
Okay.
And my boy Nick Cage is going to be Joe Exotic. How could you not tune into that?
Woo!
What do you think? What do you think of that? Huh?
I don't know, man. I hope that, you know, it takes off and it does, you know, some good. I mean, I'm pretty much over it, but I knew the Joe Exotic story before. Oh, you cool cats and kittens.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I think it's perfect casting.
Totally. But
another thing I'm looking forward to, speaking of Nicolas Cage, everybody is always like, they should have made a Five Nights at Freddy's movie, which clearly ripped off Chuck E. Cheese and the fucking robots and shit.
Right.
But Nicolas Cage beat him to it. He's actually in a horror movie coming out soon called Wally's Wonderland, and it's the same premise. He's a janitor. He gets stuck at this Chuck E. Cheese type place. All the animatronic robots are flipping out and short-circuiting, and they want to murder, and there's only one man to stop it, and that motherfucker is Nicolas Cage. So,
of course,
that's one of my most anticipated films this year.
Oh boy!
Do you have anything else to share before we move on?
I can't think of anything now.
Well, other than that, we move on to Depravity Central over here. I have somebody I want to thank today. I am super excited, cats. Everybody knows Balls. If you know Balls, you know he is a nerd, and nerds love video games. I have a Wii that plays all kinds of like old stuff. I am a retro gamer. I'm in love with that stuff. Mm-hmm. The only thing that was missing from my repertoire was all the old cool classic arcade games I used to love playing. I used to dump endless quarters into. Today I actually completed my collection, cats. I found a little place called Custom Retro Arcades. I'm excited. I love it. They have so much to offer. I mean, they hand build arcade cabinets if you'd like. They could even put over 4,000 games on them. Nintendo, Atari, more. I personally got this thing where you could play over 8,000 retro arcade games. All the shit that I grew up on, loving: RoboCop, Punisher, Spider-Man, X-Men, Simpsons, just to name a few bad dudes. I could go on all day. This plugs into your TV via USB. You can sync your controllers up to it, and you can play arcade games all day long. So I just want to thank Custom Retro Arcades. I'm going to put their information up. If you gotta get one of these cats. They're amazing. Check them out. Reasonably priced. Put all the info up for you. It's a no-brainer. If you're a nerd like Balls, you got to grab one of these. So, Custom Retro Arcades, cats. Check them out. So now it's time for everybody's favorite part of the show. You know her. I love her. You love her. Xtina Depravity Corner.
Well, hello there.
Do you have a fucked up story for us this week?
Of course I do. Why would I not?
I knew you wouldn't let us down.
Of course not. Jeez Louise. All right.
Who's Louise?
I don't know, man. She needs to get away.
Why does she want a G's?
I don't know. What I do know, however, is, this world's pretty messed up, as always, as it has been.
This world's messed up?
It is, in case you haven't noticed,
Oh, that must be why I hate people, then.
Must be. Except you guys. We love you guys.
Well, yeah, we love you. Everyone else could fuck off. You guys are the best.
That is right. So, some of you may have already heard about this story. It's starting to trend on the interwebs, as it should be. Usually I see this stuff and, blah, blah, this person's talking about, that person's talking about it. And I just kind of go, oh, here we go again. And I'm just like, I don't want to hear it. I don't care. I don't want to know. But this time I decided to take a little peeky poo at what's going on in the world. And everybody is up in arms about this young black man that was jogging in Georgia. Jogging in Georgia. Sounds like a song.
That sounds like a CBS sitcom.
I mean, really.
After NBC's Will and Grace, tune in for Jogging in Georgia.
I really think that would be a hit.
I'd probably be a lot happier than
But
what you're going to
perhaps not after this story, right? So, there's always this thing in the world, and, again, it's 2020. Don't know why it's still a thing. We should kind of be over it.
What is it?
It's called racism. And it's a little bit ridiculous, I mean, listen, there's assholes and there's non-assholes. And they come in all different shapes and sizes and colors. And, doesn't matter what color you are or what gender you are or what orientation you are. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole. Okay? So, we'll start there, I guess. But this young man, and here's my favorite part. I love to judge a book by its cover.
I think everybody does to some degree.
I mean, here's the thing. They say don't judge a book by its cover, but they also say a picture is worth 1,000 words. And you can honestly look at a picture of someone for the most part, 75% of the time, we'll say, and pretty much know, all right, they're probably not an asshole. Or they look like a somewhat remotely decent human. Sort of. You can sort of judge that. Or more likely, you can look at a picture and go, oh, Jesus Christ, that person's a scumbag. Am I right or am I right? I think I'm right. So, this young man was out for a jog. And I'm probably going to butcher his name, and I apologize. But his name, I believe, is Ahmaud Arbery. And young man, black man, decent looking kid. Looks like he's maybe done some modeling. He's got a swanky hat and some fancy Nike pose. I mean, he looks like he's, a nice looking guy, like a normal looking dude, whatever. Taking his morning jog back in February before the world came to an end. And, just doing his thing, jogging down the road. When all of a sudden, two men, white men, get out of a truck and charge at him for no apparent reason and just start shooting him. Well, they start trying to shoot him, and he actually did have the wherewithal to start to fight back and try to steal their gun. He was, of course, unarmed because he was, on a jog, not bothering anybody, not doing anything, not whatever. Okay, what's this about? Well, here's what I'm going to guess it's about. I'm going to guess it's about racism, because here's why. This is all on video. And I don't know if we can link it, but if we can't, well, we can surely probably link it. I don't know if we can put it in our video. Either link it, or you can just Google Georgia jogger killed, and it'll come up. It's all over. If you watch this video, 10-second clip, they say it's disturbing. Your disturbing and my disturbing might be a little different. You really don't see much, but you do see someone in a car running a video, and these men in a truck ahead pull over and get out and attack an innocent jogging man. So 2 questions. A, why? For what reason? B, who was this other person in this car behind the truck? Because this video clearly started, like, it wasn't like, okay, you and I are, we're riding down the street and some shit starts up and I'm like, oh Jesus, maybe I better video this. It looks like a crime's being committed. No, this was an intentional video that was already, like, videoing. So why would you just be videoing a truck in front of you and some guy jogging down the road? Unless you knew something was going to happen. Am I right? So, again, why? What is happening? Now, these 2 men, it's a man and his son, and the man, 64 years old, I'm not even going to say his name because A, I don't remember, and I don't care to give him attention, was a police officer, a retired police officer, and his, 30-something-year-old son. And they had nothing better to do, I guess, that day than just jump out of this truck and attack this man. They claim that there's been a string of robberies in this particular neighborhood, and he fit the description. All right, let's pose that for a moment. Suppose he did fit the description. Why are you jumping out of your truck and attacking him? Okay, attack him then. Get him down on the ground. There's 2 of you, there's 1 of him. Why do we need guns? Why are we shooting at him? If you want to question him for potential robberies, then do that. By all means, do that. You want to be a civil servant? You want to be the, what do they call that? Like the Punisher?
Vigilante?
Yes. You want to be that? More power to you. Awesome. This was not that. This was so clearly not that. And this man deserves justice. And finally, somehow this tape has been sitting around on somebody's phone for a couple months, and it just magically got played on some radio station's website recently. I don't know. I'm sure tons more information is going to come out about this. This is probably going to be like the biggest news story of coronavirus, other than coronavirus right now at this point. So I don't know what's going to happen. Finally, we are getting an indictment. There is going to be some sort of grand jury. I think these men have, in fact, been arrested. Thank the Lord. So hopefully they can keep them that way and, take this to trial or get them to admit things or, decipher things, maybe find some witnesses. I don't know, but based on the character of this young black man and based on what we're seeing of these 2 white men, stuff just, it doesn't add up. it only adds up to racism, plain and simple. And it's a damn shame. That's all I can say. And I could get more worked up. I could be, but typically these things they don't get me that worked up, because a lot of times what happens is, you will have a criminal who just committed a crime and he's running from a murder scene or a bank robbery, and the police go and, they shoot him, and then everybody's outraged because this black kid got shot by a white cop or whatever, but he was committing a crime. Like, to me, that's a different thing entirely. This is not that at all. And this is blatant. Like, they clearly were watching him, watching his patterns. This is my assumption again. These are my opinions. This is not fact. But I'm pretty gosh darn sure it probably is. So anyway, I don't know what else to say without bringing down the house and getting everybody all worked up. But we need to get justice for this young man. And, hopefully that happens, because, it needs to. What do you think, Balls?
I have a lot to say about this. I'm a person that actually, a lot of people don't know, faced racial persecution growing up because I was, in fact, somebody that did appreciate black culture. And that, even to this day, you were looked at, you're looked down upon.
Yeah, you grew up listening to rap music in a otherwise predominantly
redneck school.
Right,
and
right.
If you're different in any way, I spent my life getting the shit kicked out of me for what I believed was right. So, this is 2020.
Right.
First of all, you'd mentioned that, hey, if you want to stop it, but it's not these motherfuckers' job to be stopping anybody.
It's true.
They're not the fucking police. That's the problem. These fucking yokel assholes think they can just go and take the law in their own hands.
Right.
And be a vigilante.
Well,
the Punisher would have shot these fuckers in the face. Like, they would be the people that he's after. Like, the Punisher hates racism. But I hate when stupid people try to embrace the Punisher as their own for their fucking beliefs. I hate that. A lot of people do that.
Right.
I'm a fan of the character. It fucking makes me sick. So this is 2020. You think by now, as a culture, as a society, we'd be over this shit, man.
Right.
I could give a fuck what color you are. I don't like people, and I could tell you it has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with what the fuck your color looks like.
Right.
It's you're a fucking idiot, or you're not a fucking idiot. I don't care if you're purple, orange, green, fucking plaid. You could be a plaid motherfucker running around. If you're an asshole,
awesome.
I fucking hate you.
I want to be plaid.
I can't believe there's these fucking backwards fucking yokel, fucking slack-jawed fucking assholes that still exist in this fucking time.
Yeah. And okay, let's just assume that they do. Obviously, they do exist. Can they just, hate those people in their own little world and just not react to it? Like, why did that man need to die?
See, you can't even
I don't even understand.
You can't even totorate that. This shouldn't even. This should be done.
Right, it should be totally done. But
we need to fucking start socially, just disavowing and fucking and showing these people that this just ain't right.
Right.
Here's the thing. Everybody to some degree likes to fuck around, and you could say you don't. Everybody has jokes around to some extent, but in my heart and most people's heart, I like to think that we're better than that. That we don't fucking think about that no more. There should be fucking equality for everybody, not just black, but transgender, Asians. Everybody faces some form of discrimination. Everybody has some form of fucking discrimination in their heart. And you can fucking lie all the time. You can say that you have none. Everybody has something to some degree.
Oh, for sure.
But that doesn't make it right.
No.
You have to know that that's not right, and you have to govern yourself, and you have to be a better person. You have to accept people for who they are and embrace the differences. And I like to joke like everyone else, but I'm not a fan of people, but I don't hate them for that reason. I don't care. You know what I love? I wish these fucking idiots. I wish everybody in the world was just the same. Because then what the fuck would they hate then? There's nothing to hate.
That's true.
You can't be
would be boring.
I'd rather be boring and we live in a fucking society where there's no racism and racist fucking idiots than, you know, than like, but I mean, again, too, then you're losing all these special things that make people culturally different. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, you're sacrificing that, which isn't good either, but it breaks my heart. I mean, can you imagine if that was somebody that you loved? Yeah. And this fucking kid's doing nothing wrong. I could see if you're a thug, like you said, and the cops gun you down, then you deserve to fucking die. Right. I don't care. You know, again, it could be the other side, too. Because they love to, like, try to fucking turn these motherfuckers into saints that were fucking little gangster assholes. And I hate that shit, too. If you're a fucking bad dude, it makes no difference. You shouldn't get off of it because you're a certain color either. Right. You know, so, I mean, that's tough talk, but I'm sorry. It works both ways, absolutely. You know, I don't give a shit. If you're breaking the law, if you're white, a cop's still going to fucking shoot you. Exactly. It's not, I mean, I do admit that places there are still racism in effect in the police force, which is fucked up. But, you know, or not every place is like that either, though. Right. I mean, people act like every fucking place where there's police, every police station, everybody's fucking evil. I mean, there's got to be some good cops out there that ain't beefing about race. Right. So, I mean, I'd like to think if I went and I robbed a bank and I'm jumping a fence and they told me to stop 30 times, they're going to shoot me. Right. Am I black? Am I orange? Am I purple? Am I fucking this, that? They're still going to put two fucking in the back of my head the same as they would anybody else. So, it goes both ways. But, I mean, this was a travesty. Right. I wouldn't want somebody I love just fucking out of nowhere and two fucking slack-jawed yokel fucks come pulling up thinking they're going to just, I'm just looking for somebody to hassle and fucking kill. Yeah. How would they feel, man? How about somebody fucking tailed one of their fucking little dopey assholes and fucking killed one of their kin? I bet you they'd be a lot more fucking upset. You know. Yeah, so, there's an interesting, I don't know if you'd call it a meme, because aren't they supposed to be funny, but it's sort of like a quote. And it's pretty powerful. I'm going to paraphrase because I don't remember exactly, but it says something to the effect of, you know, a black man shouldn't have to die by jogging. And I mean, how prolific is that? You know, and it's true. You know, you shouldn't. Nobody should. Right. Like, that's the thing. Everybody gets caught up in race now. People, there's just fucking evil motherfuckers out there. Yeah. And there's normal motherfuckers. I mean... Are you a normal motherfucker, honey? No, I've never been a normal motherfucker. I don't choose to be normal. Thank God. Anywho. But I can tell you, I'm not an evil motherfucker, at least. So. Speaking of not normal motherfuckers, let's talk about this next guest. Oh, well, I mean, I definitely think we could use a little lighten up after that shit, for sure. I mean, I'm ready, you know, I'm like, right. But I mean, you could beat it into the ground all you want. The answer's still the same. You know, we shouldn't in 2020 tolerate hate for anything. That's all I gotta say. Exactly. I'm not gonna waste the fucking film for how long. We need to be happy people. We need to fucking giggle, a little chuckle, maybe. Turn your brain off. Forget about the crony apocalypse for a little bit. Get a little happy. Get a little goofy. And you guys are going to love my next guest because it's going to lighten your mood a little bit. In fact, we're having our second live performance on the Balls from Ellwood show. He's even going to do a little song for you cats. So how do you think about that? We might even be backup singers. You never know. You have to tune in and make sure. But anywho, he is around our parts. We've heard him talk about him endlessly on our show. I've been a big fan. He's a local Pittsburgh dude, but I mean, he's known all over the world. He was considered to be originally the first YouTube blogger. He is a musician. He is a man that's passionate about his art. Plus, he's funny as hell. So please, cats, check out our interview with the man, the myth, the legend known as Weird Paul Petroskey. Check it out, cats. Hey now, cats, we're back again this week, and if you are, in fact, a regular watcher of the Balls from Ellwood show, you will actually have known that I talk about this guy constantly. We are big fans. We just watched his film on Amazon Prime. It was incredible. I'm sure you've seen our review. Give it up for the man, the myth, the legend, Weird Paul Petroskey. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Balls. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it is our pleasure for sure. I've been waiting for this moment for a while, man. I love you.
Thank you.
But let me ask you, sir. Tell me a little bit about growing up. I know you're a Pittsburgh guy like us. So, what was it like growing up for Pittsburgh? What was you like growing up?
I lived in I lived in Bethel Park. I grew up in Bethel Park. And until I was 10, I grew up in the worst part of Bethel Park.
Oh wow.
People hear Bethel Park, they think,
They think you're rich, yeah.
There's a lot of affluent people, nice homes, and everything. I grew up I'd call it the ghetto of Bethel Park.
That's funny. I didn't even realize there was a ghetto.
To say.
I never knew there was a ghetto.
Cool.
It was all, fairly poor families, and the houses were not in good shape and that sort of thing. And it was broken glass all over the streets it was like living in a downtown city block or something.
Yeah.
It was right across from where the Washington Junction trolley area is, if you know where that is. It was right there. Anyway, I lived there till I was 10. So that was kind of strange. And I didn't really have a lot of friends or anything. I just kind of made up my own little games and stuff and played in my backyard and things like that. And then we moved into another area where it was a little nicer. And I still didn't really have a lot of friends. I had a couple friends growing up, but mostly I was kind of a loner, and I was kind of ostracized in school. I just didn't have a lot of friends. And so I learned to, invent a lot of things and make my own entertainment. And once I became a teenager, that's when I started writing my own songs, and my family got a video camera, and I started making my own videos. So that's kind of what changed my life around 1984. Yeah.
I think that's why I find you so relatable, because I kind of had the same upbringing in school, and before this, the whole bully movement. Now, we didn't have that. A living hell for me, man. I couldn't wait to get out. I had no friends. I got picked on constantly and beat up constantly. So it was my best years were out of school. You get that chance to reinvent yourself. And I think that's why I'm so relatable to you. But your family, you talked about growing up. You got the video camera. They always seem very supportive of your art. Was there a time that you can remember that they ever got annoyed with it? And can you remember a specific instance?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, my dad worked really hard for a living all day. It was physical labor. And he would come home and he'd be very tired. And I'd be running around yelling, singing loud and playing my guitar really loud. And I'd get my sisters and brother to make these videos where we would just we were like big pillow fights, And we just run around and jump on the furniture and hit each other. And he would always come in and say, "The party's over." That was when you heard him say that, it was time to I would just jump up on the couch and just sit there like I hadn't done anything, because that was the warning, the last warning. So I used to drive him crazy. And even when we first got the camera, the first thing I did was go in. I picked up the camera, which he didn't even want me to do. He didn't want me to touch it. And I went into the bathroom and filmed a bowel movement.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, and when he saw that, he got really mad. He erased the footage, and he took the camera away. And he said, "You're not going to use this camera now for a week." And then after that, he said, "You're not going to use it for a month." He changed his mind. But I had it back later that day because I was such a sweet talker. I was so persuasive. I could get what I wanted. So, but I would just, I didn't care if I knew that was my destiny, and all that stuff that I did. It didn't matter to me whether it was driving my family crazy.
Well, you mentioned destiny. That brings me to my next question. Can you think of that definitive moment where you realized that you wanted to be an entertainer the rest of your life, and it was more than a hobby? I mean, you're the first, you're pretty much the first YouTube blogger. So, I mean, do you have that one moment where you're just like, "Wow, I'm doing this the rest of my life. This is my destiny"?
I don't know. I mean, there's a couple moments I can remember that are, I don't know if if I could say, "Oh, it's my destiny," but I remember when I was, I must have been 10, 11, something like that. And I had one of those mom magazines, like Family Circle or something like that. And there was something in the back. It was like a questionnaire for kids to fill out. They were doing like sort of a poll of kids. and they're having kids send in this questionnaire, and then they were going to print the results. And one of the questions was, what's the most important thing to you? And there was a little checklist, and it was like money, family, being famous. And I checked off being famous. So I still have that, and I look at that and I say, oh, that's sort of the precursor to the whole thing is when I check that box there. And I do also remember when I was getting out of high school, and I was thinking to myself, I'm not made for going out and getting a job, or I'm not made for, there's a certain thing I'm supposed to do in the world, like as far as work. I know already that I'm supposed to be an entertainer. That's what I'm here to do. And it took me a while though to get to the point where that's actually happening. Most of my life.
Hey, so, growing up in Pittsburgh, I mean, do you draw any inspiration from the city in your songwriting?
Well, I do have some specific songs that are related to Pittsburgh. There's a song I wrote back in 1989, I think it was, called "Let My Sister Go to Kennywood."
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Because my sister wanted to go, and with her friend, and my parents were like, "Oh, we were not sure whether we can trust you to go or not." And I was like, "Oh, get her out of the house, let her go." And so that was one. And then a little more recently, but still a long time ago, it was in the 90s, I wrote a song called Beinhauer Mortuary, which is about a chain of mortuaries that are in the South Hills here. Nice. And so I do write songs specifically about Pittsburgh. Ooh. And, I'm just influenced by whatever I hear. I mean, I've been on public transportation and heard people say things to each other that became songs. Ooh, it's what I hear when I'm wherever I am, especially because in Pittsburgh, there's a certain, people use certain words that you won't hear other people say, or of course talk in a slight accent. It might be that triggers me to write something too. So,
You're kind of a different species.
Right.
Yeah. So that inspires me for sure. Yeah.
We know you loved your recording videos growing up. We see all those. You have a lot of that content. You journal. I love hearing your journals. They always make me smile. But as a kid, what did you think you were going to be when you grew up? It sounds to me like you already kind of had it all figured out, or did you think you were going to be like a fireman or something else? It seems like you already knew.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. At some point, I felt like, oh, this is all important, and I guess part of it was I would read books about bands and that had been around a long time, and they would have a history about them, and they would there was pictures of memorabilia from their past, and I would see that and I'd say, wow, it's amazing they still have that, and that still exists, and it's something that we can look at now. It's kind of like going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and seeing stuff there, and you say, wow, that's that guitar that they used in that video or whatever. And so I felt like that was something that I enjoyed seeing that kind of stuff, and I thought other people would enjoy maybe seeing that kind of stuff as pertaining to me someday. And so that was a reason that I felt like it was important to save those things. Yeah.
What was the craziest thing that's ever happened at a Weird Paul show?
The craziest thing that's ever happened? Oh, there's been some pretty crazy things. I mean, I've seen fights break out. I've seen people dressed in big Pikachu costumes come dancing out. I mean, the craziest thing. See, nobody's ever asked me this before, so I'm not.
You really got to dig deep.
Prepared. I'm not really prepared to answer this.
I'm honored by that. I don't ask you the same thing.
I've had the cops show up.
Ooh.
Oh wow, for what?
And that was at a bar. I don't know if you're familiar with the bar, the Rock Room. It's in Polish Hill, but it is kind of it's just kind of on a city street. It's what I mean to say is it's kind of a bar, and then there's all houses on both sides of the street. So even though it's a bar that has shows, if you're too loud, the police will show up, even if it's not that late at night. And so
you were really rocking out.
So I've had the police show up and tell us to stop playing. Come right up and tell me to stop playing. Nipper's in the background. She keeps wanting me to tell you about the guy puking in the bucket. See, I'm not mentioning what other bands did at Weird Paul shows because that's not part of my act. But there was from West Virginia that I was playing a show with, and part of their set was to puke in a bucket. Yeah.
It's like some G.G. Allen shit.
It can always be worse, I guess.
I kind of avoid that, the theatrical.
Yeah, no doubt, for sure.
Bodily fluid stuff. All right.
Hey, what does society regularly do that pisses you off? Like, what's your pet peeve? Like,
Oh boy, I had a good answer for that pet peeve thing too. I told somebody once, and I can't remember it now, but it was really good. I don't remember that. I don't know. I'm gonna say though, it's just that so many people can't get past a certain thing. For me, it's like my hair, you know?
Yeah.
Like people won't even listen to my music. They won't even listen to what I'm saying or watch my videos. It's just immediately, oh, look at that haircut. I'm not going to
Yeah.
watch this because his hair looks
Oh,
like that.
that's horrible.
You know?
It is, yeah.
I think that
yeah,
people
that's a good
just
one.
need to be a little more open. People are very
Exactly.
closed-minded in
I
general.
like that.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Has your vision ever created problems with like friendships or relationships or loved ones? And how do you keep that balance in life?
Yeah, definitely.
Is it hard to keep the balance between, you know?
It can be. I mean, I've had relationships where, you know, being Weird Paul was a problem. You know,
Yeah.
it didn't work out because that they didn't really couldn't
Accept
handle
who
being
you
part
were.
of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that, and also I think there's always sometimes there's some jealousy involved. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like you're getting more
Sure.
attention, and so it's great to be in a great healthy relationship with someone who understands and it's
This is the
supportive
first. I went through the mill
of
for
that.
20 years, man. This is the first person that's ever accepted balls for balls.
That's awesome.
Hey, what do you feel people do too much of today?
Too much of. Oh boy, too much of. Well, I'm gonna say that I think it's that just seeing everything as being disposable. Everybody is, you know, even you just go out on trash night, you know, driving down the alley or whatever, and you see everything that everyone's thrown out. And it just seems like everybody just gets rid of everything and buys the next thing, you know, to replace it and just throw it away, even if it's not even
that is
broken.
true.
I think it's
And
a
it's
good
not,
point.
yeah, it's just that there's so much waste, you know, it's just so
Yes.
much waste going on all the time. It's just, it blows my mind. And I try not to buy new if I can, you know, I'll go to the
Right.
thrift store and buy something used that works just as well, because we're not keep adding and adding and adding more garbage.
True.
to
I was
the
gonna say
world.
those are our favorite people because you know they get the next best thing and we can get their
When you get theirs, yeah, that
for a
they
good
got rid of.
bargain. Right?
One
Yeah.
man's trash is another man's
That's
treasure.
right. Absolutely.
I feel like society makes things disposable nowadays too. They don't make things to last.
yeah.
That's true.
You know,
Things
I don't like to
things
buy
are made
things
to break.
Yes.
Yeah, like the sweeper. I can't tell you the last time I had a
Well, that's so
sweeper
they can
last
tell
more
they
than
could
a year.
they could sell you all these different parts. That's just probably as much as they just get another sweeper. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and also like after a very short time, you go to get the part, and they say, "Oh, we don't even make that anymore."
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Have
ridiculous.
to
I
buy
mean,
the-
especially even cars and everything, you know?
Yeah.
I-
It's ridiculous. So, what is one thing that you cannot live without?
Thing that I can't live without. Let me think.
you should probably say never.
Well, oh, okay. I didn't know it. that we
Well, no,
went-
it doesn't. Well, okay, that's I guess the obvious. Okay, we'll let Nif go, but
Of course.
I guess a
yeah.
thing, maybe not a human.
I mean, I was gonna say going to the thrift store, but
Yeah.
I haven't been able to go to the thrift store.
I know.
We haven't
I'm
either. It's
thrilled
killing us.
too, man,
Like,
and it's killing me.
I needed to get some costumes for bits I wanted to do, and now I can't. I don't even have. I wanted to be Tom Atkins, and I wanted to do a bit where I dress up like him, and I can't even go to the thrift shop to get a pullover sweater or anything.
So I've had to
It's a
learn to
struggle.
live without that.
Right.
I don't know. Like I just music, movies. I mean, art. You know, I couldn't live without any of that. You know, that's what makes my world go round. When
I
I'm not
agree.
creating stuff, I like to be listening
Enjoy
to
it.
music. Enjoy it. So.
If you could pick one TV sitcom family that you'd want to be part of, who? Would
Oh boy. Well, I mean, I haven't watched television in a long time, so
All right,
I'm
well, let's
gonna
go
have
back to the 80s when
I
it
have
was
to
good
go back to
anyway.
the
Yeah.
80s. I have to go back to the 80s for sure. Oh boy,
It's got to be Elf. I mean,
Alf.
Al, that would be
Boss.
that would be out of this world, man. That would,
Yeah.
that would be a trip for sure.
Who's the boss?
I don't know. I mean, my growing up was almost like a sitcom. That's the thing.
Same here,
you know?
man. Same here.
So it's kind of hard to like say.
He already did it. Yeah.
What fictional family is better than that? I mean,
Right.
it's hard to
that's
make
fair.
that kind of distinction.
That's
Really?
fair.
I don't know.
What's the craziest thing that you've ever done on a dare?
On a dare. I mean, I don't take dares normally.
Yeah, me neither.
That's going to be
All right.
That's going to be hard to answer.
So, what's the craziest thing you've done, maybe to impress someone?
Oh, that's pretty good.
How about that?
Yeah, that's a good one. Craziest thing I've done. Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, I rode the Steel Phantom at Kennywood. It was pretty crazy for me
Was
because
that- was that-
I
With the loops or after they took the loops on?
that was with the loops.
Oh, that would beat the
That was
crap out
rough.
of you. Oof.
And I had never ridden a roller coaster before.
Wow.
Oh, man, that's a rough place to
That's
start.
That was the first roller coaster I ever rode. And I kind of said, well, I've never been on a roller coaster, so might as well start with this one.
Oh, Lord. And then
And
did
maybe
you
I-
go on any after that?
The only other one I ever rode was the Exterminator.
Oh, that's the
That's pretty
best.
fun.
That's one of my favorites.
And I rode it the first time I rode it that same day
Yeah.
as that. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then I rode it again the following year, or maybe it was a few years later. And I had gone on Garfield's Nightmare
Yeah.
earlier. And there's a thing on there, there's a syringe that blows air out at you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And unwisely, I took a deep breath in when that
Oh.
syringe blew. I didn't realize it was going to happen. And all
Oh.
that stale air went right up into my sinuses.
Oh, my God.
And I got like the worst sinus headache I'd ever had.
Oh, my God.
I-
He gets sick on Garfield's Nightmare.
And then I went on the
Oh, gosh.
Exterminator, sinus headache, and it was one of the most miserable experiences of my
Oh,
life.
my gosh. That's hilarious. I love it.
Hey, what's one thing that you have tried that you would never try again?
Apparently, the Steel Phantom.
Probably the steel. I mean, there's lots of things that I could say for that, probably, just because I find out something's not a good experience, and then I just don't want to do it again. It's not something I'm gonna do again. I can't think of a lot of things per se. I mean, there's a lot of food that I would never eat again because I didn't
hear
like
that.
it the first time. You know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I can't think of anything that stands out 100%.
Specifically, yeah. Well, let's change gears here. What's the first album, I guess, that ever changed your life?
Oh, well, it would probably be Weird Al Yankovic in 3D.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I got that in 1984, and I knew Weird Al was, and I had heard some of his songs, which is why I wanted to get the album. And it was probably the first music album that I ever bought. And, that was what inspired me mostly. Getting that album was mostly what inspired me to start making my own songs.
Right.
Yep.
Had you ever had the chance to meet Weird Al?
I did meet him. I met him a couple of years ago.
Nice.
Oh, I'm so jelly.
And did he
Yeah.
take to your weird Paulness?
Yeah, he didn't act like he knew who I was, which I was
Yeah.
kind of relieved of. I was
Right.
hoping that he didn't really. I didn't know what he was going to say about me kind of ripping off his name.
Yeah.
Which I didn't do on purpose either.
Right.
But the documentary about me that you've seen, Will Work Reviews, the guys who made that movie approached Weird Al about being in the movie.
Oh, wow.
And he was not able to do it because everything he does goes through his management, and they have to okay everything, which is understandable, of course. And but he did say he watched a little clip of some of my videos that they sent him, and he said that he loved them and he wished me best of luck.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
That's amazing,
That's
man.
awesome.
I guess he knows who I am now.
I love hearing
Yeah.
that Weird Al was cool, man, because I've worshipped
Yeah.
him since I was a kid, man.
Yeah, he's awesome.
What's your least favorite band of all time?
Least favorite band of all time.
Something you hear and you're just like, oh.
Yeah.
I mean, anything in the grunge spectrum of the early '90s.
All right.
I love Nirvana. They're one of my favorite bands. I don't love them as much as some other people, but they are one of my favorite bands. But any other grunge band, pretty much, I really can't stand to listen to. For instance, Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots, what's that band? Soundgarden. I mean, Alice in Chains. I can't stand any of these bands. I know
That all sounds the same, really.
and it does all sound the same. That's what I said. Yeah, exactly. And I just, what I like is originality. I like things that sound different than everything else. And I don't think Nirvana sounds like those other bands. There's something about that sounds very different. But those other bands all are interchangeable for me. And I just, that's an unpopular opinion. A lot of people love those bands, but I just I don't
and
like them.
And what cracks me up, especially since we're talking local Pittsburgh, any given time you turn on the X, that's all you hear.
Yes.
It's
exactly.
They should change the name to the top 10 because they only play 10 songs.
It's
ridiculous. So I mean. It's like, there's other bands out there. Anyway.
Another band I can't stand, very unpopular for me to say this, is Guns N' Roses.
Oh,
and entirely because I've never been able to stand Axl Rose's voice.
Yeah, I can
like
get
nails
any fan of them, you have to put that completely off the table because there's no way you can like this guy. He's just such a
I can't listen to it.
douchebag.
I don't mind the music so much. The music's
his voice.
I was a fan till Chinese Democracy, and then I'm like, seriously, we made us wait 30 years, and this is what you get.
Yeah, really, right? What's the worst, or I guess even maybe stupidest horror film you've ever seen?
Well, I always say the worst movie that I've ever seen, period, of any kind of movie, and it is, as far as I can say it qualifies as a horror movie, is King Kong Lives.
I see that.
It's from 88, maybe 86, it might be 86. And it is a direct sequel to King Kong from 1976. The premise is that he dies at the end of King Kong. Sorry, spoiler alert.
You haven't seen that by now. I mean, come on.
The premise is they created an artificial heart for him somehow, this huge artificial heart, and get it into him in time before he dies so that he lives. King Kong lives.
It's like an episode of ER with King Kong.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It's pretty, I forgot about that. It is pretty.
Oh my God. When I saw that, I was like, there's nothing, I don't think there's ever going to be a movie this bad when I watch it.
I'll have to send you a trailer.
I love bad movies.
I do too. There's between so bad it's good and then just so bad it's bad.
Right.
And even some of those can be good, but then there's ones that are just intolerable. Worst film I've seen, hands down, Legend of Quilt Face. You got
really?
Trailer, yeah. It's an hour and a half of a guy, people walking up and down a highway, and then he has a bad mattress mask on his face, and he stabs him. And that's it. It's like, and then they go, Quilt Face! Stab. Then he disappears. And then 10 minutes later, they talk and walk up and down the road. Quilt Face! Stab.
Okay. I have to experience at least one of the murders in that, I guess. So then I've seen the whole thing, basically, right?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. That's the whole thing. Okay, so what's, I guess, a horror film, or it doesn't have to necessarily be horror, but that everybody seems to love and you can't figure out why?
I don't know. I think I could figure out why anybody likes anything, but I mean, I can tell you the kind of horror movies I don't like.
Yeah.
I don't like horror movies where there's one person that everybody else is against, basically. Like this one person is getting fooled or tricked by everyone else, and they don't understand what's going on until the end. I call that the gaslighting thing, right? So you have and I mean, okay, so one example is that's not terrible. I still don't love it like everyone else does. Is Rosemary's Baby. Right?
Okay.
She goes through the whole movie and she's like, "What's going on?" And everybody else in the movie knows what's going on, but they don't. They're trying to fool her the entire time. I just don't like that. It's like everybody gangs up on this one person.
That's fair.
Person. I hate that.
That's an interesting answer.
Right.
What's the most disturbing film you've ever seen?
The most disturbing film I've ever
Something that sticks with you like your whole life.
I mean, just because something's disturbing doesn't mean I wouldn't watch it again, right? But one movie that I know really disturbed me was the movie Spiral or Uzumaki.
Ah, yes.
And that bothered me for days after I watched it.
It's so bizarre, too.
Couldn't stop thinking about it. It's just
I read the manga before the movie, and I thought it was disturbing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're making actually a series of that here soon, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know. I wonder if that's going to be as good. But yeah, that's disturbing for sure. I have scenes and things that still stick in my head. Like when I was a kid, the clown from Poltergeist used to scare the shit out of me.
Oh yeah. I remember I first saw Poltergeist. It was actually it was just a few days ago. It was the anniversary It was 37 years ago that I first saw it, a couple days ago.
Nice.
And I remember there was that scene where the guy goes to the refrigerator or whatever, and
he's ripping his face off.
When that came on, I ran out of the room.
Yeah, there's a lot of really spooky scenes in that.
Heck yeah.
I'm watching this Cursed Films thing on Shudder, and they weigh in. Is this film cursed? And they show you all the weird stuff that happened when it's filming.
Oh yeah, that's
Crazy
wild.
stuff going on in that film for sure.
Yeah.
What's a horror movie that you feel might benefit from a remake, or any film you might like to see a remake of?
Well, I mean, I like the idea of remakes. It always appeals to me, but it always seems like that they end up being.
Yeah, they never get it right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that they're not as good. I mean, you wouldn't expect them to maybe be as good, but they just end up being really bad. That's the problem. I mean, that's been my experience from watching a lot of remakes anyway.
True.
I mean, I can tell you, this is one of my favorite horror movies right here. It's called The Freak Maker.
See, you got good taste. Like we got the same taste here.
1974, and it's partly a remake of Freaks from 1932.
Yeah, Todd Browning.
But they added in Donald Pleasance as a mad scientist who wants to breed plants and people together. He wants to make a master race of plant people.
Oh, wow.
So it's a mixture of that and Freaks. This is one of my top 3 favorite horror movies of all time.
That's a great film, seriously.
So I think that I would like to see if they could remake that and do a good job. The thing about it is, I guess it's almost a little bit politically incorrect now to have actual people with deformities on display.
Yeah, so, I mean, Todd Browning's Freaks would never have been made today. I mean,
yeah, good point.
Everybody's so,
But they did get away with that season of American Horror Story, and it was wildly popular.
Well, yeah, too.
I guess it just depends on if it's done well.
How it's done, yeah.
Well, you just mentioned one of your favorites. Can you name me another couple? What's your top, like your top 3 or top 5?
I sure can. Here's another one right here. This is my favorite horror movie.
Fulci is king.
I love this movie because this is the closest thing I've ever watched to an actual nightmare.
Oh yeah.
I've had. It's like watching an actual nightmare on film. And
there's so many different. Scary. It's like a fever dream.
Exactly, and that's what I find scary. Like my own.
That movie still on some level bothers me to this day, and that's why it's still good. Like there's so many different crazy things that like just make you feel like like spiders, and you got drills, and you got so much. And I'm like, to this day, man, him and Argento still Italian horror.
Yeah.
Sure.
Speaking of Argento,
I'm
another one.
Yeah, you're like the same person.
Another one of my favorite movies because it's just the color in it is
visually,
so amazing, right?
Amazing.
Because they used Technicolor to film it. They used one of the last batches of Technicolor film that you could still get to make this. And the music is insane,
Goblin.
Right?
That's all you got to say.
It just all the shots in it, the sets.
It's a beautiful film.
It is. It's like watching a dream, which I like. And there's another one of my favorites.
Is also
hold on a second. Hold on. I'm gonna get it.
I love horror movies that are like a dream. I like watching.
You got a poster on the wall. Oh, I know what he's gonna show you. You're gonna flip.
Okay.
You're gonna love this.
Pass it to me.
All right.
You take your time, not falling out. Here we go.
Oh wow.
We got the ball.
That is so cool.
Every single film on Blu-ray, sir. Plus, there's a cradle, and you could. I don't have them in because it's dangerous, but you could put the
things,
the piercing things in the top.
That's so cool.
Oh, dude. Oh, you're my for sure. There's
I just read the book Phantasm Exhumed, the book about the making of all the Phantasm movies.
Here's a weird little fact. My buddy that owns the Smiling Moose in Pittsburgh.
Sure, I know.
Reggie Bannister is actually his uncle.
Oh, he is.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
My buddy's.
Wow.
I'm hoping he's gonna bug him and get him on my show here soon. That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, if you go in there, it's like all horror related stuff. They have drinks that are horror related, and that's his uncle. It's
yeah, I was just in there about a month ago. I did a
excellent food. By the way,
if you ever see the owner Scarfo, ask him about his uncle Reggie. He'll tell you for sure.
I had no idea. That's wow. My mind is blown.
So, who is the coolest celebrity you have ever met?
Coolest celebrity I've ever met. Well, I don't really try to meet people. I mean, sometimes I have the
Right.
option of meeting someone and I don't even bother. It's like not real important to me to meet people like that. And I find that in some cases that you're disappointed after you meet them.
Oh yeah.
That's definitely happened to me.
I go to a lot of horror cons, and there's people that I've looked up to like since I was a little kid, and I can't even watch their stuff anymore. Like they
Yeah.
a lot of people's been really, really nice.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
a lot of people that hasn't. So I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely Weird Al would be one for sure. I mean, when I think about the most famous people I've met, you know, a lot of the people I've met that are famous might not be famous to everyone else.
True.
same here.
So,
Right.
Nipper keeps yelling Brent Spiner because she met him at the Steel City Con.
Guys,
Yeah, I met him
we
too.
go there all the time, too.
He's cool, but I mean, I'm not a big Brent Spiner fan like she is. She's a
Right.
huge Brent Spiner
We,
fan.
yeah, we go to that too, man. I
Yeah,
was
it is
sad
funny
to-
how celebrity is relative to, I guess, who you are.
Yeah, I guess it is. But I mean, I'm just trying to think. I mean, of course, I've met Tom Savini,
Yeah.
and I met him at I met him at the fair. I can't remember what church fair that was. It's down in Bloomfield every year, around where he lives, I guess.
Yeah.
And that was a strange experience.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you said that because we've met him several times,
Yeah,
and
he's
he's
just
like
not.
been completely mean every single time.
Yeah. He's not a friend.
See, he was absolutely the opposite to me.
Seriously?
Yep, because we had just bought a lamp, a huge, tall lamp at their flea market at the fair, at that parish festival. And we were standing there, and whoever I was with said, "Oh, that's Tom Savini," and got him to come over, and he put his hand around this lamp that I had sitting there that I had bought, and he wouldn't let go of it, and he just held on to it for about 15 minutes and wouldn't stop talking about himself. And he started telling me all these stories about From Dusk Till Dawn and making Creep Show and all this stuff, and he wouldn't leave.
That's hysterical.
It's the
Wow,
abs-
man.
That's hysterical.
absolute opposite of being mean.
See, I would have loved to have that
Wouldn't
experience.
leave,
I've been
though. He
trying
wouldn't-
for years.
He wouldn't leave. That was the thing.
Yeah, but so it's equally as bizarre, I guess. But
But now you have this cool story to tell. Like,
Yeah.
It is a cool story.
I wish I had some nice ones, but yeah, he's my buddy owned a little video shop that closed in Dormont for the longest time called Incredibly Strange Video.
Sure, I used to shop there all the time.
yeah.
Bruce Lentz, he came in there, and you know how they're a small business. He used to have the sign, you know, no returns. You know, so he rented. Tom Savini goes and he buys this movie with like his 18-year-old girlfriend at the time or whatever, and he watches it and he don't like it. So he brings it back the next day and he's like, "Yeah, I want my money back. I don't like this movie." And he's like, "I can't do returns. I'm like a small business here, you know." And he's like, "Don't you know who the fuck I am? I'm fucking Tom Savini." And he was like, "I don't really care who the fuck you are. I can't return your movie."
Yeah.
So like he stopped out and he was all
Great.
angry.
That's
and,
great.
you know,
My friend Scott, he's my boss. You probably saw him in Will Work for
from
Views.
Spencer's.
He used to work at a store called Music for a Song that was at
I remember that.
Mills Mall. Yeah, and he said Tom Savini came in one day, and he didn't know who he was. And he said Tom Savini came in, and he went up to him and he said, "Can I help you?" And he said, "Yeah. Where are the Blu-rays?" No,
else is creepy
he's
since I'm-
very, very mean about it, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a
where are
very-
the Blu-rays?
He's a very just tense guy, dude.
Yeah.
And then he's been taking these pictures, I think, since he was 18, shirtless with a birthday cake. That creeps me out right there. He's like, what, 60 some years old? He's got man titties now, and he's taking a picture with his birthday cake. It's time to stop, dude. Seriously.
It's gonna be a coffee table book of all those.
Right.
Well, let me ask you this: What's one thing about you that your fans don't know that would surprise them?
I don't like Guns N' Roses.
Right. We heard that. That's good. That's good.
That's pretty good.
Let me see. I mean, lots of things. Some people always just assume that I'm a drug user or something. I've never done
geez.
drugs in my life. I've never
Yeah.
even smoked a cigarette. That tends to really surprise a lot of people. Some
That's
of the
great.
movies I've never seen. People will like
You
yesterday.
actually surprised me the other night. I was looking at your pictures, and you actually had a picture of the ED2109 from.
Oh yeah. I was
I
just
can't
gonna say
believe
that.
you haven't seen the first RoboCop.
I haven't seen the first RoboCop.
I went in my bedroom and I cried. Like I was like, I'm like, RoboCop 2 is great. It's fun, but that's like a 5-star fucking movie. I was like, I can't.
Got it on Blu-ray. I just haven't watched it. But the
Do
thing
you,
is,
do you,
get
do,
to
you,
that.
do you have the X-rated?
there's so little time.
Do you have the unrated X-rated cut, the Criterion edition?
No, I have. It's a
Let's see.
3-disc Blu-ray set of all 3.
Look in the back, make sure it says unrated. If not, I'm going to send it to you because, like,
I need to see the unrated version.
you got to see. I know you're busy, but you got to make a point to see this film. The score, dude. You
I plan to watch it. I wouldn't own it, but I just
you
haven't
love
had time.
you look at everything like me. You love the score. You love this. You love acting. You love everything. This movie is perfect, and I'd buy that for $1. So
Right.
have you had any experiences with the supernatural?
Nothing.
Never.
Nothing at all. I always say that to people. If people say, have you seen a UFO? You've seen a ghost? Anything. Never, nothing, zero, zilch. And I don't know if that's just because I don't make myself sensitive to that, and I don't actually like look for anything. You know, I'm just always busy doing this, looking around, doing all these things. I don't make myself available to it. But I do have, you know, I have some strange dreams sometimes that I wonder if this is coming from somewhere, or I have some really strange coincidences, you know. Sometimes when you have some really strange coincidences, you're like, well, that's really odd, you know. And that's it. But I've never had any paranormal experiences.
Yeah, I hear that. Well, I took time off I'm on my lunch break. I'm working from home, so we're gonna wrap this up shortly here. Balls can take over here if we need to go further, but I want to know, what message of hope does Weird Paul give the world at this crazy time?
Oh boy.
Help us, Obi-Wan.
Well, I always say, just remember, happiness is the most important thing while you're here, because you won't be here forever. And if you can't experience it now, you never will. And the key to happiness is being yourself, being able to do what makes you happy and not having other people impose their will on you and try to change who you are.
Amen.
Change you to somebody who you're not happy being. So you just have to do your best.
That was beautiful. You're gonna make me cry,
profound, sir.
Getting a tear. I'm gonna shed tears here.
It's not easy.
Well, last question for you. Where can we keep up with you on your social media, and what's coming in the future for Weird Paul?
Well, you can check me out on YouTube, of course. YouTube, Weird Paul on YouTube, and I'm uploading lots of videos on there all the time. And on every social media that exists, really, you have to be, because there's different audiences. Some people hate Facebook and they'll only use Instagram, and some people only use Twitter. It is weird, but
people are very picky.
Well,
they are.
Stand hating Twitter. It's not.
Yeah.
I don't like Twitter.
I don't like Twitter, but
we're on there, but I don't like it. I mean,
there's people that only use it, nothing else, so I have to be on.
I don't
there
like
for
Periscope,
them.
but we broadcast on Periscope.
I have that too. So I have them all, and I'm on all of them. It's Weird Paul, if you want to find me. And I just got on Twitch, and that's where I'm going to start live streaming.
Where can we find your merch at? Is that on there as well?
My merch is on my website, which is weirdpaul.com.
Awesome.
Okay, cool.
Weirdpaul.com. It's pretty.
Don't worry, I plan on plastering this all through the show. So.
Thank you.
One last thing. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, what about a tune?
Yeah, or are you able to play a tune?
Sure, I can do that.
All right.
I think you know what I want to hear.
Most likely. Let me see if I can move
here
this
we go.
down a little. Here we go.
I'm going to give you a little clue, brother.
Okay, that's a good enough clue for me.
We can dance.
I've had Chip, I've had Peter Pan, I've had Skippy, I've had Superman. It's a peanut butter recall. I remember them all. It's a peanut butter recall. I remember them all. Now if I please could have your attention, I still got a few more kinds I need to mention. I've had Reese's, I've had Smuckers, I've had Planters, I've had all of them buckets. It's a peanut butter recall. I remember them all.
Yeah.
It's a peanut butter recall. I remember them all. I've had Chip, I've had Peter Pan, I've had Skippy, I've had Superman. It's a peanut butter recall. I remember them all. It's a peanut butter recall. Yeah, I remember them all.
Right.
Peanut butter recall. Said I remember them all. Peanut butter recall. I remember them all.
Yeah!
All right.
Real quick though, can you do My Father's Toe and then I'll let you go?
Sure. My father's toe. My father's toe. My father's toe.
Perfect. That's exactly how I want to go out, man. Thank you so much, Weird Paul. You've
Thank you, Balls.
the legend, Weird Paul Petroskey. You know where to find them, cats. I'm going to be putting links up, and I thank you again, sir. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
And we'll continue to check you out, brother.
Yeah, when the world opens up again, we'll be there.
Yes. Rock on.
Peace and love, sir. Peace and love.
Take care.